Hey guys, Darkovika here, and today I kind of want to talk to you guys about that ever necessary video at the end of every year, which is your New Year's resolution. So my New Year's resolution, to just get straight to it, is to do less. And I know that sounds weird. That'd be like a really strange New Year's resolution to have. But in actuality, what I mean is to take on less. So this year, I've had a lot of really cool people approach me about a lot of really cool projects and a lot of really cool opportunities, and I've taken on far too much. And there has been a lot of things that I really wanted to achieve between writing music and continuing to get back into the piano and writing, new songs and releasing another album and learning a new instrument and writing my book. And as per usual, none of that got done. I wanted to make a game, a short one, it didn't matter. I wanted to write stuff. I've had moments of extreme creativity where I've had amazing ideas and none of them got off the ground. And the reason for that is because I'm the type of person who just dives into something the moment that it takes interest on me or in me. And the problem with that is that I don't have a team, I don't have a lifestyle that gives me the amount of time in a day to do all of those projects. Because if I was a full-time YouTuber, if I was a full-time game developer, if I had full-time 9 hours in a day to do those things, yeah, they might get done. All of those projects, all of those ideas, all of those creations, what is up with my English today? All of them might have gotten done, basically. And I've realized that the problem is not the way that I work, which is what a lot of people tell me, and it frustrates me every single time. Because the way that I work is fine. The way my work ethic is, and the way that I get obsessed with things, and the way that I dive into projects is fine. I do not believe that I'm a workaholic. I hate that word. If anyone ever uses that word around me, we'll be met with extreme anger. But I do believe that I get addicted to new projects, and I get very excited about new ideas and new creative concepts, and I get distracted and I move into them and then I drop them because the same exact thing happens a week later or a month later. And this year I've had a really great response in that it is the longest I think I have actually worked on a project, and that's my book. And a lot of you know that I have been trying to write a book for a very long time. In actuality, I've been trying to write and publish a book probably since I was 11. And I've never been able to do it because of this whole thing where I get distracted with new projects and new ideas. It's been going on for a very long time. And I love to learn, and I love to create, and I love to do, but I wind up having so much that I become overwhelmed, and those projects don't get done. I wind up getting distracted, and I wind up just turning to something that relaxes me because I get stressed out, and I don't really handle getting stressed very well, and I tend to just shut down and ignore it. And the problem is that affects a lot of things in my life. It affects the way that I live, it affects the way that I think, it affects the way that I look at things that I need to do that I don't do because I feel so overwhelmed by the 5,000,001 projects that I wind up doing. So that's a really long way of describing the fact that I am going to take on less. I am going to drop projects that I am now very aware that are not going to happen. I'm not going to try releasing an album. I'm not going to try writing a soundtrack for, the characters in my book. I'm not going to try creating a game to go along with the characters in my book. I'm going to focus solely on that book because that is the one thing that I have wanted to do since I was a child. Even more than video games. Before I even knew that, actual people made video games and they didn't just exist. Because, kids. I have loved books. Books have been my everything, and I have wanted nothing more than to release something. So I may not get that done this year. That's fine. I just want to focus on that and nothing else. And that doesn't mean that I'm going... Okay, so this is where I get into the game plan, right? I don't have one. I don't know what that means. I've never focused solely on one thing. It's a weird concept to me. What it doesn't mean is me stopping creating content. I'm not going to do that. What it does mean is I don't have an exact answer on how to have a proper workload and a proper way to focus. So what's probably going to happen is a lot of changing in my schedule. And I really hope that you guys can kind of support me in that, because I don't know what's going to work. I don't know what's going to actually be acceptable. I know that I can't do editing, so I'm probably going to go back to focusing on live streaming. But the problem is that live streaming is a long process, so I won't be live streaming every single day again, like I was originally doing. I don't know how often I'm going to try to live stream, but I am going to cut out YouTube again. And I do this time with the understanding that it's not forever. It doesn't hurt me as much as the first time that I did it, because I believed I was taking on too much. First of all, because I'm not as stressed as I was back then. And also because I know that I'm just putting these things on back burner. The other dreams that I have, and all of the things that I have dreamt of creating and wanted to do, wanted to learn how to draw, wanted to create comics, I want to do and have learned so many things. Jack of all trades is a good start to explaining all of the things that I've learned throughout my life. But the problem is that I really am a master of none, and I have not completed any of them. And it's great that I have all of these skills, because they are projects that I can get to at a later date, and they give me the bones for being able to create and entertain people, which is what I've always wanted to do. But because I do all of them at once, none of them happen, and in the end I end up entertaining no one, and I end up disappointing myself and disappointing other people, and not giving the content and not doing the things that I know I can and want to do. And that's not fair to anybody, most of all myself. And I know I'm going to wind up going in the wrong direction, because I'm going to overcompensate. I'm going to do way less as an attempt to answer it, and that's not going to work either. And then I'm going to try and go back in the other direction, and it's going to be a bit of a scale thing, where I like to do this for my music students, where I say, you know, sometimes you try to fix one thing and the other thing breaks, and then you try to fix the one thing that broke and you break the other thing, and then you slowly bring the scale back into the middle ground. And that's just basically how life is, and that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna be the greatest. I know right now we're at a standstill with YouTube, and we're at a standstill with Twitch, and I really don't know how to fix those. But that's gonna have to, you know, that's something that's gonna have to take my full attention. And eventually, you know, when I've done the things that I want to do, and I've hit all of the projects that I want to hit, and I'm able to become a creator full-time, because I would love to be, then I can start taking on more projects at a time, and I can start doing all of those things again. But right now, I can't. So live streaming is going to continue, for sure. And for right now, we're going to keep doing it on Twitch. I keep flip-flopping between which one I like more, because I honestly can't decide. Ease of access for most of my viewers seems to be Twitch, but a lot of the times my younger viewers are not allowed to go to Twitch, so they can only see me on YouTube. And so on and so forth, and things like the Sims 4 100 Babies live stream did really well on YouTube, but Sims 4 does not do very well on Twitch. So it becomes one of those things where it's like, it just depends on what I'm playing, and that creates a very difficult way. It becomes difficult for me to plan an actual game plan. So there will be a lot of flip-flopping, and a lot of people already know I'm very active on Twitter. Everything that I decide to do, everything that I come together to make a plan with, it winds up on Twitter. Why? Because even though YouTube has a section for community where I can post status updates and what I'm planning on doing, I can't really talk about Twitch there, because they do have guidelines that say you're not allowed to advertise your Twitch streams on YouTube. That makes it really difficult for me to update my YouTube community as to where I'm going. So everything winds up on my Twitter, and that's basically just ease of access. I used to have a Facebook, but I just wasn't using the Facebook very well. I also got, you know, a lot of really weird messages on Facebook and just wound up losing interest in it. So I moved on to Twitter, where I typically get a lot less, but I also just really like the openness of Twitter. So what we're planning on doing, I'm probably going to be posting a lot of update videos, and that's about it. Updates on my plans, updates on where I think I'm going to be going. I mean, I might already get in trouble because I've been talking about doing streams on Twitch in here. We'll have to see how that goes. You know, it's just going to be update videos, probably. Me maybe just being very open about where I'm at with my book, but definitely not weekly videos. They're not going to be planned at all. They're not going to be gameplay videos. I need to it's something that I love to do, but it's something that I cannot put the amount of time and effort that it requires for me to do. And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I think, frankly, the number one thing I need to do is just do less. I can't take on all these projects. And it's something that Brent tells me all the time. And I find myself trying to reason with it. Because I know that there's, you know, he tells me this and it makes sense what he's telling me. But it's so hard for me to give up all of these projects because I'm so used to doing them. Giving up YouTube has been something that I have been trying to do, and I know that sounds strange, because it's not something that I can put the level of attention that I need to. If it was the one thing that I was focusing on full time, maybe. Even, you know, if I wasn't trying to do a book at the same time. But I've decided that the number one dream that makes the most sense to me is my book. And that's the one that I've decided to focus on this year. And if I do change it, let's say I need a month off, then it's a month where I don't do the book at all, and I only do one other project. And that's just how that's gonna go. And that's why I say I don't have a game plan, because it really just, it's something that I've gotta learn. And, you know, that's something that I'm excited to learn, because hey, and I'm going to keep working as hard as I always work on things, because that's not the problem. My work ethic is not the problem. In fact, my work ethic is the one thing that keeps me probably from spiraling into depression. But it's the fact that I just take on way too many projects. And I am enthusiastic, I'm hopeful. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do this year, including a NaNoWriMo project and a NaNoWriMo series that just didn't even happen. At one point, I had a Halloween project that I had talked to Lucian about, for those of you who are, you know, who see him in my streams, and that didn't happen either. He'll know what I'm talking about. And it's just so many things that I've planned that never happened because I was doing too many things, and I was too stressed. I also have a wedding that's supposed to happen this year, so, you know, taking on less is probably good for my mentality, because guess what? Weddings? They're stressful! Really stressful. So, you know, this year is going to be hectic. It's going to be insanity. And I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. And, you know, weddings are just expensive and stressful. And I have to figure that out. And I don't want to disappoint myself anymore. And I don't want to be a disappointment. And I don't want to put all these projects on a level of they need to happen, I need to be working on them, or I'm a failure. Because that's kind of the problem, is that if I'm not working on them, I have all these things that I want to do. Voice acting, audiobooks, creepypasta videos, horror games. I was even toying with the idea earlier today of turning my channel into a channel that only does horror games. Because honestly, let's be real, those are the best things. Those are the things that I'm best at, is horror games. I have, like, we all know it. I'm the most interesting when I do horror games, at least for me anyway. I like my videos best when I do horror games. And it goes on and on and on at the end of the day. That's what it all is I'm going to do less. So right now, what is my schedule, right? We're going to keep doing 2 live streams a week. And as I feel that out and I see how my workload changes now that I'm not focusing on anything else but my book, we may add a live stream, we may change to YouTube, we may do some testing, A/B testing, see 1 month, what is it like when I live stream an entire month on YouTube, what is it like when I do an entire month of, well, we already know what it's like on Twitch, I have plenty of data for that. It may be if I decide to do Sims live streams, maybe for a couple weeks we're doing it on YouTube, because like I said, Sims does way better when it's on YouTube. It gets me, like, no new viewers on Twitch, let's be real. But yeah, that's where it is. Twitch schedule, Mondays and Wednesdays, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard, because that is basically the exact moment that I get home, which means that's more like 5:37 p.m. because I have to run in through the door, feed my cat, make sure he's okay emotionally and physically, and then sit down. But that's been working out a lot for me, actually, because then Brent gets home a little later, and then I'm done with live streaming, and we can sit together and eat, and we can watch shows together, so it works out. I get to spend more time with him. So I hope you guys are patient with me, and I thank you for all of the support that all of you have shown me time and time again. And it's just another branch, basically, figuring out where I'm gonna go, and not holding myself so strictly to this idea that I need to be like professional YouTubers, because I'm not one. I'm not one, and I can't be one, and that's okay. Not right now. I can't be one right now, and that's okay. You know, YouTube is a comfort zone and always has been, but I've been treating it way too professionally. I'm gonna go on another rant, so I'm gonna stop there. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream, which isn't happening this week because I'm a sick mess. I don't know if you could tell. I've been battling the flu and just been on and off tired and congested all up in here and eating Tylenol like candy. No, I haven't. That was a joke. I am extremely close on my acetaminophen counting. Please don't take that seriously. But, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!